We have a lot of jobs, especially in these types of areas. We have agriculture, fishing industry, healthcare, oil and gas, tourism, IT and communication, and construction. So these areas, there are several more areas where we need people, but especially here. Now I will answer some questions about the Norwegian culture. Let's go! I'm gonna answer these questions. Is it really true that Norwegians hate small talk? Is it true that Norwegians are really happy? What is Russefeiring? And also I'm gonna answer, is it hard to find a job in Norway? La oss se på det. Number 1. Is it really true that Norwegians hate small talk? Yes, they hate it. Never speak with a Norwegian person ever again. No, I'm of course joking. Okay, let's take a look at the answer here. Like always with these questions, it really depends on where you are and who you're speaking to, okay? There are people that are super open, and there's people that are really, they're not speaking to anyone, okay? But I will say in general, all overall, we are for sure less social and like more closed than people, for example, in the south of Europe, like France, Italy, and Spain, and Portugal, those countries. We are for sure a little bit more closed, and we are not that used to having those small talks like over there in the south of Europe. Given that the culture is different, the weather is different, it makes sense that we are a little bit more closed people than, for example, in the south of Europe. So we are not really used to have a lot of small talks. We are more used to speak with the friends we know, the people we know around us, and we are a little bit less open to meeting new people and to speak with strangers. Like I said in another video, it is really common to have your group of friends and your group of people that you speak with, and then we don't really used to speaking with other people and other strangers, and making new friends and interacting with strangers is really not just a big thing in Norway compared to other places. Question number 2. Are Norwegians really happy? Wow, what a good question. Just so you know, when I answer these questions, it's not like I have the right answers. I'm just answering this from my perspective for the things I have seen myself. So when I'm answering this, I'm answering from the perspective that I have been traveling some places in Europe. I've been living in Spain and Italy. So I'm really comparing it to the south of Europe. In general, in my opinion, yes, I see a happier country in Norway. And I think the factor is really one thing. Safety. In Norway, if you're sick or if you're unemployed or if something bad happens to you, normally the government takes care of you and you get money and jobs. In Norway, we have really good organizations that normally kind of takes care of you even if the worst things happen. Like you lose your house, you get kicked out of the street, or maybe you lose your job. Normally there's a kind of a safety net that takes care of you. In general, I can just hear that conversations are a bit different in Norway and in other countries in the south. For example, Norwegian people, we do complain, but they complain about different things. For example, in the south of Europe, in some countries, the conversations and the complainings I'm hearing is that maybe the government are stealing their money or that there are no jobs. In Norway, normally the complainings I'm hearing is that they want to legalize some kind of electric scooter, or if they want to pay less taxes to drive cars. So I can just see in general the problems in Norway are really smaller than compared to in Spain and in Italy, in my opinion. So Norwegian people don't go around and smile the whole day, but we have that safety that, in my opinion, is really important in able to have like an inner happiness. Question number 3. What is Russefeiring? Really good question. It is a graduation party after videregående, which is the Norwegian high school, where we party for 17 days straight. It is a period, or a party I would call it, that goes from the 1st of May to the 17th of May. The 17th of May is kind of like the last day with our Constitution Day. This is a time where we actually have school, but nobody cares about school in this period, even though we have exams. We just go around drinking, partying, and making a lot of noise and just getting fucked up. It is a really nice period because we're kind of celebrating that we're done with school. Okay, we're going into university. So this is a period where it's a really nice time. We're together, we're drinking, we are just outside, we can sleep outside even though it's a little bit cold. It's just a time it's super social with everyone. It's like together. It's a really nice period. Some people, especially in the bigger cities like Trondheim, Oslo, and Bergen, they actually take it as far as they buy actually a bus where they put like 50 people in a bus and just party inside of the bus or the car. Is it difficult to find a job in Norway? Super good question. I actually have a lot of students that I help in order to go to Norway to work, so I have some experiences. And in my opinion, this is what my experience is. In the low skilled jobs, I'll call it, for example, restaurants, cleaning, and guides, like tour guides and tourism, should be pretty doable to get. But if you want to work in a restaurant, then the Norwegian will be actually really important because you need to speak Norwegian. Cleaning and guides, it can just be enough to speak your own language or English. in some cases with the guides with tourism as well. For example, I have people from Asia coming to be, they don't speak Norwegian, and they come to Norway to be a kind of a guide for the Asian people. I see in some cases that high skilled jobs, the thing that require high education, normally has more competition in some cases. This is because we have a really good education system in Norway. We have a lot of people graduating, so it's a lot of competition in some positions with those kinds of jobs, the types of jobs that require high skills and high education. But there's some really good news here, because we are such a small country with really like few people, so we have a lot of jobs, especially in these types of areas. We have agriculture, fishing industry, healthcare, oil and gas, tourism, IT and communication, and construction. So these areas, there are several more areas where we need people, but especially here. I'm actually helping a lot of people that wants to become a doctor and nurses that go to Norway, okay? Because we need a lot of, we actually, for example, now we are actually getting a lot of people from the Middle East, and especially from Sweden, a lot of doctors and nurses, because we're really lacking there. Also, I have a lot of students that are engineers that are coming to Norway to work in the oil and gas industry. And especially in the summer, in the fish industry, there's a huge demand for people to work there to prepare the fishes and to sell them. Then in the summer period, we have a lot of tourism. Then we need people to translate, to be guides and all that things. So the tourism market, maybe because now there's the corona situation, is for sure less, but normally, yes, tourism is a huge thing, especially guides. I would say in order to work in Norway, there are two key things you need to be aware of. First thing is to learn the Norwegian language. It's huge here. To be able to find jobs and speak with people is really big. The second thing I would say is a network. In Norway, it really works like this, that if you know someone, you have the right connections, it gets so much easier to get a job. Especially if you go to a small city or a less big city, then it gets even more and more important to have a network that you know someone. Because normally when you get a job in the small cities, it's because you know someone, you have some kind of network. It's huge. It's going to skyrocket your chances of getting a job. You have a good network and you speak Norwegian. I'm always looking for ways to help you with your problems and your questions. So if you have any problems or some questions, go to my social media and send me a message. I'll do everything to respond to everyone and all your questions and help as many people as possible.